sounded like a cracking start to the morning with Brent and some playful Nkuhuma lions. So very happy that they've been providing you with some entertainment, as lions can sometimes be extremely lazy, especially if they've been feeding on a large quantity of meat, as they have been for the last 24 hours. I am just going to reposition ever so slightly. And this looks like a large herd of elephants. I'm not sure if it's two different herds, because one seems to be heading off to the west and this other herd seems to be approaching from the south. But time will tell, and we'll see how their behavior changes in the next couple of minutes and whether they all follow one another. We've got a few youngsters approaching us, and like most animals, the youngsters can often be the most playful, and there's three of them that appear to be having some sort of fun. I'm not sure what they're doing. And we were brought into this area by the tracks of a young male leopard. Also, thank you very much for those of you who sent through the reports of a leopard that was seen on the Wium 24-hour waterhole camera at 5 a.m. We found his tracks at 6:30 heading away from the dam down Philemon's Dip, and followed his tracks, which continued down the road, but then veered off into a big block. But his general direction was towards Treehouse Dam, so we went past the dam. He didn't appear to have popped out, and then we heard these elephants feeding nearby. So we decided to come and sit with them, and while we sit with the elephants, we can listen.
Sorry, go again, Andy.
To any alarm calls that may be going on. Oh, cute, look at those two. Look like they're identical twins. Very, very similar size. It is very uncommon for elephants to have twins, so that's not likely.
Same position, coming of Louisville on Savage's track, junction with Philemon's cut line. Okay, good, thanks. I think
and Wium and I are hoping to break our spell. We haven't managed to track down a cat in the last 4 drives, and we're hoping to break that trend this morning. We were really excited following these fresh male leopard tracks, but the excitement soon dissipated when his tracks veered off the road, and he could be doing anything in one of these bushy blocks. He could be sleeping, he could be hunting, he could have already made a kill. I'm hoping that he will continue towards the dam though, and that's where we're going to intercept him shortly, I hope. Failing that, I may have to spend some time on foot off the road and see if we can't find him. So I'm fairly certain this is 2 separate herds that have just converged on one another. And with elephants, they will come and go and pass by other herds with no animosity. They are not territorial, and therefore you can often see large congregations of various herds in similar areas. The only time where there may be some aggression is in times of drought or famine. When there's not a lot of food or water around, they may get a little bit aggressive and even chase off other animals from waterholes, protecting their water. But that's certainly not the scenario at the moment. And as you can see, they're very relaxed. every few seconds I am just stopping and really focusing on listening as intently as I can for any signs that could lead us to some action. But all I'm hearing is the morning chorus, and the birds are certainly having a vocal morning. It really is interesting how it varies from day to day. Some days are a lot quieter than others, but this morning there's a cacophony of bird calls ringing out. Well, there's just one other group of ellies approaching from in front of us, and they are heading straight towards us, so we're going to spend a few more minutes here for certain. Thereafter, I may shoot back towards Treehouse Dam just for a quick inspection, and we can always come back and rejoin the herds of elephants. But I am very, very interested in trying to find this leopard, so we can all spend some time with it. It's always entertaining watching young elephants try and understand and learn how exactly to use that trunk of theirs. It's an incredibly intricate part of their anatomy, and there are hundreds and thousands of different muscle fascicles that allow the trunk to bend and twist every which way. And this takes the youngsters some time to get used to. This big old cow, on the other hand, has mastered the art, and as you can see, she can casually pick up even the smallest of little morsels with her trunk. Here we can see her sniffing intently, and they will use their sense of smell to find water as well as tasty morsels and different plants. I think she's heavily pregnant. You can see she's lactating, and her mammaries are extremely enlarged between her front legs. And due to the fact that she could be pregnant, and I think she is, I'm going to factor that into the equation in case she may be a little bit temperamental and moody. And it's a very long gestation period. It's 22 months that they carry their young for before they give birth. Oh, look at that little baby back there. Cute. Interestingly enough, it appears like another cow has come in and almost chased that one away. So maybe I was wrong about elephants and not being aggressive to one another this morning, because this cow holding her head up with a branch in her mouth is the one that chased off the cow on the left of your screen. For one moment I thought it was us that the initial cow was nervous of, but it was some kind of a dominance display, possibly between two matriarchs. They have these massive, massive ears, which interestingly enough make up 20% of the surface area of their body. It's a hard sum to believe, but the fact that their ears are double-sided obviously contributes greatly to that. And the reason why they have these massive ears is not for hearing, it's actually for cooling. But this morning, because it is nice and cool, they are not fanning the ears and pumping litres and litres of blood through a network of veins to keep cool, because the weather's nice and cool. But as it heats up today, we'll notice their ears beginning to flap more and more. I'm thinking of repositioning. I've got a very good idea of which direction the elephants are moving, and we are going to be able to get back onto the road, check out what's happening at Treehouse Dam. Hopefully this leopard's going to be there. Failing that, we'll come back and rejoin the elephants. Yosemite, good morning and welcome. Chris is interested to know whether baby elephants will use their trunks as a pacifier, and they will. I have seen young elephants chewing on their trunk. It's either that or they're just holding onto it to prevent it slapping them in the face as they run from side to side. As when they are very small, they do sometimes seem to lose control of their trunk as they trundle through the bush. So yes, I think that certainly is the case and is possible, but it varies on the individual, much like humans. Elephants are all about to come through a very large open area. So I just want to get us into a good position. Give me a moment or two, and then we're going to be in for a wonderful, wonderful sighting. I'm guessing there's about 25 or 30 elephants that are making their way directly towards us. And we just have to be a little bit patient and allow them some time to come through a small belt or band of thicker vegetation before we enjoy a great sighting of them. I think this is the place to wait. Now I'm watching this female as she approaches, and I'm watching her tail. She's actually got a very, very hairy tail. But I'm not too interested in the hairs. I'm interested more in the way she holds that tail. Because if they hold it up horizontally and kink it as they approach, it means that they may be a little bit uneasy. But hers is hanging down and she appears to have calmed down. But there was an initial little kink in her tail, which is a great behavioral indicator. Well, this is going to be an absolute treat. There's so many elephants on their way past us. Not a worry in the world.
She's got a beard.
She is an exceptionally hairy elephant, this lady. She's got a beard and one of the hairiest elephant's tails I've seen in a long time. We'll show you some others so that you get a comparison. Having said that, though, this whole herd seems to be going to a very good hairdresser, because either that or they're very healthy, because they certainly are a hairy bunch. There's one female here that appears to be in season. You can tell this simply by looking between their back legs, and as she walks off, Wium's panning onto her now. You will notice that there's a little bit of moisture down there, and that is an indicator that she could well be in season. So I'm wondering if there's going to be any large bulls following, and I think I may have just seen one. So we just need to be patient, but I'm fairly certain there is a bull approaching from the left. Don't be confused by this big old cow. She's a beautiful old lady, this. I'm guessing that she's old because you'll notice the temporal dents above her eyeballs are very pronounced. Now, the deeper those dents become, the older the elephant is said to be. Like humans, a lot will depend on the individual, but you can almost relate it to humans and how we age. She's got a tiny little girl following behind her, though. Or was it a boy? I'm not too sure, but let's see if it gives us some attitude. I think we could be in luck. It seems to be getting ready. Uh-oh. Hello. Come on. Come and chase us. No, not worth it. Certainly thinking about it. Come on. Come on. Come and chase us. Come on. Keep coming. Keep coming. Certainly thinking about it, but not willing to commit just yet. Well, aren't they such wonderful, wonderful creatures? And here's a bull. It's not a very big bull, but let's see if he gives us a bit of attitude. Hello, boys. Good luck with the lady, if that's who you're pursuing. I think he's too small, though, to realistically mate with that female that appeared to be in season. Oh, I could be wrong, but maybe she's just coming into season or going out of season, and the bigger, more dominant bulls have already come or are potentially on their way. Not an easy job for Wium. There's so much going on here, and that, coupled with the fact that the vegetation is very thick, is making for some testing camera work. Well, I'm very glad we did reposition, because we got extremely fortunate in this open clearing that they moved through. But now we're going to head to the dam quickly, see if there's any sign of a young male leopard whose tracks we had this morning. They veered off a road into a thick bushy block, just as the elephants have done. And while we go and check up on that, I think you should go on and see what Brent's been up to with the lion for the last 20 minutes or so. We'll see you later.